All right, all right. Good afternoon, or actually good evening, and good morning somewhere out there in the world. This is Real Talk with E.V.E, and I know that I've missed the last show, but I'm back. I'm here. It's just been um, doing quite a bit. Moving around has been such a busy month, but I could say it's been a very productive year, and we're only in April, although May is just around the corner. So I thank you all for joining here on Real Talk with EVE. And I have a guest that this is, I love bringing information, sharing things with you, and I'm going to share testimony here. But without further ado, I want to bring up my brother from another mother, Charles E. Burns Jr. And just, take note of this information. This is you know, I always say publicly and on the radio, I am going to always empty out every single day. I am not going to die full. I will die empty because whatever I learn and I know that it's going to help others, I have to share it with you. I have to. And I hope that you share it as well. So, we're talking about wellness things, right? We all have to take care of our mind, body, and soul. And when we're not okay spiritually, we're not okay at all. When we're not okay mentally, we're not okay at all. But when your spirit is broken, it just everything is broken. And so um, we have to find ways, or we should find ways to help clear our mind, help think ourselves positive, think ourselves happy. As we say, junk in, junk out is what you allow to go in, is what will either make it good or bad for yourselves. And so I just, I always want to bring in the good, right? So anyway, without further ado, let me bring up Brother Charles Burns to the show. Hello there. How are you?
I am great, and thank you for having me today. And hello to your viewers and listeners.
Wonderful. And thank you for making time to jump on in here. I just been so excited, and I want to thank you for introducing this technology to me. But first, let's talk about you. Who is Charles Burns?
Oh well, first of course, a child of the Lord Jesus Christ, and
Amen.
from there, then husband to Carrie Burns, son to Gloria Height, father, uh, children, Chastity, Alasia, Gabrielle, Charles, uh, Jalen, grandfather, and now I think that's going to be 8 names, and I'm not going to go through, but grandfather also, entrepreneur, author, uh, minister of the gospel, musician, and I guess in my yard a lumberjack. So,
Okay. So you do it all type of person.
well, you know what? The Lord said, whatever your hand finds to do, do it heartfully, do it heartily, or do put all your strength into it. So basically, I just I guess as you want to pour leave nothing on leave it all on the field. I guess that would
Right.
be the saying.
That's right. That's right. And so you are a man of many gifts and talents. And one of your gifts is that you're great with people. And you and I met some years ago dealing with a different type of thing, marketing. And so
Mhm.
I guess I must have made an impression on you. And I think whatever that was, that you reached out to me. And I'll be honest with you that I actually, not that I ignored your message, is that I was out of town or somehow, I don't know. You sent it to me and I even forgot you sent it to me. And then on my way back from when I was out of town a couple of weeks ago, I finally watched a video because I forgot who sent me a video, who sent me a link and technology. And I remember that you reached out to me several times. And I called someone else out and they're like, no, that wasn't me, Eve. And I'm like, scratching my head, brain fog, keeping me brain fog. I was like, oh my goodness, who was that sent me that video? Because I was like, wow, okay, let me look into this, right? And so that's when I finally, oh, the light went on. It was Charles. And that's when I called you.
Yes.
And then you invited me right away to your meeting. And I was like, wow. I was just wow. And I'm still wow, 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 wow. You know, I've been saying God is doing some mind blowing things. And boy, is
Absolutely.
he ever, ever, ever. Oh my gosh. I don't know if you feel my excitement, but this is me all day, every day. And now I
Yeah,
have one more thing to be excited about. Oh,
you know it. So first, yes, from back then, you know what, I have, I guess, people that I'm connected to in social media, uh people that I've watched how they grow their social media. And basically, when I started with this company in October just last year, 2023, right away when I got involved, I knew what I wanted to do with this. I was in the automotive retail industry. I did that for 18 years. The last 10 years of that, I was blessed to be able to operate at the top of the game, President's Club awards, um, salesman of the year, not just because it was the best 6 months out of 12 months, but it was the best 12 months out of 12 months. So God's blessing was on me there. And, you know, it was great. It was a great training ground. I think it's a good training ground for a myriad of things. But I knew I wanted to do something else. And when I got involved with this, a friend shared this with me right away. When getting involved, I knew I needed to build a team. So I started looking around, and first thing you want to do when you're building a good team, whether it's, you know, basketball or whatever, football or business or ministry, you want to look for people who are effective, uh,
yes, yes.
people who they know how to make impact, and also people who know how to connect people.
Exactly.
So to be a good and effective liaison is just an amazing thing. And so I was looking around for people who could do that, and of course, and I mean, for us here in the region, we know of Eve, and I mean, it's like you got a hand in everything. So
Amen. When God moves, I move just like that.
yes. So it's, definitely I knew I wanted to share this with you because I knew from there would be so many people that we will be able to get this into their hands, and it's making a difference in people's quality of life. And that's why I got involved at the level that I got involved at, to make impact, to help change people's quality of life for the better.
Mm. Okay, you went on mute.
Oh,
There you
uh,
go. Okay, there you go. Sorry. For the better. And when I heard for the better, uh, yeah, okay. You know, I asked a whole bunch of questions because I have an inquiring mind and I want to know. And so I did a whole bunch of research where I really didn't need to, but I felt that God said once I heard, more so than see, what it was doing for the ladies that were sitting behind me and to the right of me at your place, I was like, okay. I came home straight to more videos to do more of my research. Not because, okay, let me see if it's proven to be true. No, let me see what else it can do.
yeah, and
I
it
put
is,
I put
it's
in the
incredible.
product. Yeah, oh my gosh. People, you have to get this in your hand. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway,
So,
go ahead.
so with that, it's been an exciting thing connecting people. That's the first part. Um, just being able to engage people, get them the information, which that's the biggest part of this. We're just here to educate people, to give people information. From there, you're going to find the people who want to make a difference in their life and their personal health. But, you know, getting this information in people's hands, just like you are today, it's exciting. I mean, to talk about it, it's kind of like one of those moments, the woman at the well, come see a man. And it's
Yeah.
like, hey, you know what? Let me show you something that I've discovered or that was introduced to me that's helping so many people with this. And I mean, you start naming, going through a list, and you really don't feel like you're going to ever get to the end of it, because there's always something else, a new testimony that pops up on YouTube or TikTok or Facebook. People are posting videos everywhere. And you know what? The best thing about this, it is the most natural thing that people will ever engage. So it's not a pharmaceutical. There's no chemicals. There's no stimulants. Nothing is going into your body. I
Mhm.
mean, this is, you how many people have an allergic reaction to something that actually pharmaceutical wise, but they have a negative reaction to something that actually could help them if they didn't have that allergic reaction.
Mhm.
Well, we've discovered something that there's no factor in that category connected to this, because it's absolutely the most natural thing that people will ever engage, period. And aside of that, or I should say next to that, not aside of that, but next to that, is that it absolutely works. It's patented. So I guess the thing when we bring up patent, and sometimes we say, well, we say this all the time in our presentations, and sometimes when we say it, we may be sitting in front of somebody, they absolutely know what it is when you say the word patent. And after that, they're just waiting on what are you explaining that was patented?
Right.
Because I mean, if it sounds good as far as what it does, I'm in, because they understand what a patent is. But then, I mean, that's not something that most people are aware of because they don't engage that. It's just like most people, they're not an author. So if you say copyright, they're not a musician. They may have heard something about it, but they don't know all the ins and outs and the dynamics of it. However, when you are dealing with someone who knows what that is, they get it. They grasp it. They know the value of that. But there's that segment, they don't understand that, right? So
Right. Right.
with those people, we have tons of information, virtually tons of information, just all this documentation. We have case studies. We have peer reviews. And these are some things that, while I'm saying this case study, some of your listeners right now, they should be just Googling it, because maybe
Yes.
they don't know what a case study is. I say peer reviews. They should look it up. What does a peer review mean? Because peer reviews, that's the highest level where you're going to be reviewed, where people that are on your level of expertise, they're scrutinizing they're picking it apart. They're reverse engineering it to see, okay, what they're saying. Let's see if it is what it is.
Right.
Because I'm a professor too. I'm a scientist too. Whatever it is, I'm an engineer too. And so we have all this information. And with the information, we have the testimonials that line up with the information. That is, and I say this with so much caution, because I don't want anyone to think that I'm saying this is like the Bible. But when I say biblical proportions, what I want you to extrapolate from that is that biblical proportions, in the sense in the sense that everything that the Bible says, this is what's beautiful about believing in Jesus Christ.
Come on.
Everything that you find in the Bible, Jesus comes in the volume of the book. And then when you come to him the way he says to come to him, when you come to him, you have all the experiences that he said you would have, the supernatural ones, the ones as far as we shall lay hands on the sick and they shall recover. So exactly what it says, that's what you end up getting. And maybe I should put it this way. Maybe that was just a moment for me to just slide something in there about Jesus. But it's like a principle. Gravity is a principle. You can, however much, somebody told you were special or whatever, and say you can do anything. You cannot defy gravity. That's a principle. It's always going to be just that. You throw something up, it is coming back down. Eventually, gravity is going to win. With this, everything that is documented in the case studies is what people are experiencing. It's on that level. It's on a principled level as far as science is concerned. So they said it should do this, it should do that, it should do that, it should do that. And people start to use this technology. And while they're using it, they're like, wow, I have, I think one of your testimonies, I have more mental clarity.
Yes.
And energy, they said, okay, yes, energy is one of the things. These things are in the patent, right? So in the patent, it says that you're going to have an improvement in energy. Wow, I mean, I feel so much more energetic. You told me about someone's mom, and how old is that individual's mom, or what age group do you think she's in?
I think she's in her 70s.
Okay, so she's in her 70s. That's the category, the age category of people who are at most at risk for having no stem cell activity. So once you're at 60 years old, you have 10%. So that means it's gonna be longer for you to heal, longer for you to recover if you get injured or if you get sick. But in any case, what it says is exactly what it does. It works. It works. And that's why I went looking for people, and I have other people on my team that they're community shakers in their own pods, their own area, their area of influence. And the mission is to get this to the world, get this to the communities. Yeah. And for simple things that people are dealing with, that they could maybe, for someone is picking up their grandkids again, holding them, or going out and walking with them again, or just being able to go through the day and not be riddled with pain in their body. Well, you know what? Again, it's science, and this is what we want to bring to the market.
And we're like, okay, you're leaving me on the edge. What are we talking about? Can you tell me?
Cliffhanger. It's a cliffhanger. Right? And you know what? That's good. That's good. Because the one thing you get when you create that, you find out who really is interested, who really wants to know, who's interested in changing their health. And I think that's what's, I think, really important for conversations like this, for us to, let's talk to the people. Let's put the energy in the direction for the people who they really want to make a difference. They're not waiting for the government to fix it for them. They're not waiting for, some new policy to come up. Oh, you know what? It's not up to anyone else. Just like you're drinking your water, and that's a good moment for me to take a drink myself. But as far as with that, you know what? It's up to you to decide to drink water, right? And our society has been dumbed down to this mindset of You know what? Let someone else figure it out for me. We
Mhm.
don't elect people for them to make decisions
Right.
for us. We elect them to put infrastructures in place
Mhm.
so that we can go out and uh, have a playing field where we can survive, where we can thrive, where we can build, where we can
Right.
raise our families. But as far as the day to day, the micromanaging, that's up to us. That's up to us. So do we tell them what it is, and without telling them everything, do you think they're pressing the door enough where we kind of let them in at least just a little bit?
Or can I just say what I for now, and then yes, just share a little bit what I was feeling before, and then I try this technology and what I'm feeling now. Can
Oh,
I do that?
absolutely.
Okay. I'm just, I'm full of excitement. For those that know me, I am like this most of the time, but I feel like I'm being extra. I mean, I am extra, but I think
Well,
this
that's
tech,
why you're great for this.
I think this technology just kind of added a little more boost to it, and I didn't really need it, but I'm not gonna say no to it because it's positive. It's helping.
Absolutely.
I am sleeping well. I don't have a problem sleeping. I am a warrior and I'm a watchman. Therefore, I wake up at 5 in the morning and then sometimes I'll go back to sleep. Sometimes I don't. Well, okay. The first thing that I was really noticing, which I think that got me to say, I really need to get this and see how it works for me, brain fog. How many of you are feeling brain fog as you're watching and listening to this? Me, it was so noticeable that I could be talking to Charles, and all this time I'm trying to figure out what his name is because it just kind of like went out of my brain, out of my memory, and I cannot remember. But yet Charles and I are friends. I'm supposed to know your name if you're my friend, and we talk on a regular basis. Well, I was getting like that. And I just said, you know what? My brain feel like it's on overload because I've been working a lot, even though I don't consider it work what I do. But what I do professionally, I do several things, but the one that's mainly been keeping me busy throughout the days and sometimes every day, 3, 4, 5 hours straight, it's interpreting. So with that, it is mentally draining. I get home and my brain is tired. I don't speak it over me, but I feel it and I'm
It's a
mentally
reality.
it is. And I feel I'm mentally drained. But so I'm blaming it on that I have brain fog. Well, that was one of my main concerns. And I'm like, no, this is not good. I am not speaking anything over me. Why? People say, oh, Eve, it's your age. Wait a minute. Now, see, there goes the mindset thinking it's our age. Wait, what is a 60-year-old supposed to feel like? What is an 80-year-old supposed to feel like? I'm not going to let society tell me how an 80-year-old is supposed to feel. How is a
Absolutely.
60-year-old supposed to feel? I call everybody young. And don't you ever dare call yourself old
Right.
if you are 55 or 50. Okay.
Uh,
Don't you dare call yourself old because that's calling me old and I am not old. Age is only a number.
absolutely.
You're as old as you feel. Okay.
Mhm.
So it had nothing to do with with my age. It had a lot to do with my brain itself. I mean, I was on overload, yes, and it was just getting foggy. That was
And
those
that's inflammation.
inflammation of the brain. I was overusing it. Do I need a vacation? I sure do, but I'm gonna go to one in May. I'm excited. I'm speaking that into existence. Going back to Mexico with my family.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was one that I said, okay, I hope it helps with that. Okay. And then the other was like, okay, I've had some pain, some discomfort. I just don't talk about it because I'm not one of those people that claims pain. And I'm not going to tell you and I'm not complaining. And so, one thing that I have been noticing, and it's been for quite some time now, that this bone here and this bone somehow intertwine and like poke me when I am lying down. Not while I'm around during the day, walking around or anything. No, only when I'm lying down on this side. Some would say, well, why do you lay on that side? Well, when you're sleeping, do you often think of what side you're laying on if you're
Right.
tossing from one side to another?
Right.
So
The whole point
anyway,
of sleep is to be unconscious, not
hello.
consciously paying attention to what you're
Exactly,
doing.
right? And you're not sleeping. So I would like, wake up and then I would feel that discomfort, that pain. I'm poking myself from one bone to another. It just was very uncomfortable, right? That was the number two. And then I suffer from allergies. Now you know. from dogs and cats. I am allergic to those two pets. Maybe others, I don't know. But those are the two pets that I've been around. I don't have any animals in my house, and I'm glad that I don't, right? So I'm mostly around dogs more than cats. And when I'm around dogs, my throat starts to close in and my voice starts to go away. That sounds like that. Like my voice is going away. Well, my voice is my treasure, is my gift, but I should insure it because that's
What's your career?
It's my career in every way, from the speaker to radio personality to interpreting. I mean, I use my voice for everything, and I know you as well. But to me, it's very important because, like you said, Charles, it is my career. So when I'm around those dogs, those little creatures, that's what happens. My eyes start itching and all that. And this is probably, I have yet to see a testimonial about allergies. I may be the first one. I don't know. Could be wrong. Maybe because I haven't found one, right? So these three things are the most noticeable. I'm sure there's other things, but
after how long? After how long?
I've been suffering that I don't consider suffering, but I've been dealing with this for quite some time now. So today makes 2 weeks anniversary.
So 2 weeks with the technology.
2 weeks with the technology. Whew. After 4 days, it's like washing the windshield. You can see. You can see. I'll be like the blind man Bartimaeus. I can see now. I can see. Because my mind, my brain is so much lighter.
You know, we can. I know, and as I said, I was cautious and even kind of backed down from that as far as mentioning the biblical in the comparison. But however, the inventor that invented this, first of all, God-fearing man, Jesus believing man.
Amen.
Secondly, with that, he talked about with someone about how he was in a Bible study. It was a Bible class, Bible study setting, and there was some type of, and I don't know what the lesson was about. I don't know what book they were in, but they were doing something that had to do with numbers. It was a mathematical equation from
the book of Numbers. And we have a book named Numbers.
Well, there is. I don't know if it was in Numbers or I don't know where it was. But in any case, it was a mathematical equation that was talked about in this Bible study. And when he heard it, something dawned on him to take it back because he had prototype after prototype after prototype, and it wasn't working. And he took back home after he was participating in this Bible study, took the mathematical equation that he heard, and from that he came up with the formula that works, and he actually was awarded a patent. So let's talk about how important that part is as far as a patent.
Yes, a lot of people don't even know what a patent is.
So a patent, if you have an idea, so if you write a song, that's a copyright. But a patent, you have an idea, you have an invention, you come up with a product. If it's a paperclip, so you were the first person that came up with the paperclip idea. So you want to make sure that you get the credit, you get paid. So if another company comes around and they want to manufacture your paperclip, the way you get paid is you own the patent to that. So you are recorded as the person who originated that design. So you come up with it, you can either license it out or you can decide that you want to produce it yourself. And when you do that, you have 20 years where no one else can buy into that technology except that, they can't, because you own the rights to it. But the only way that you can receive the patent when you have something like this, it's registered as a medical device. So you say, okay, you have this medical device. What does it do? You make a claim. When you make the claim, if it cannot do what you said, if it does not do what you claim, you won't get the patent because you're making a claim that it does something. Right. It has to do that. So they had to send this out to independent laboratories. When they send it out to independent laboratories, they ended up finding one of the laboratories is a lab in Ireland. And it's in the top 2% for this particular technology, what it's dealing with. In the top 2% in the world, they focus and specialize in this particular benefit that this technology affords. And they send it to a couple of different places. They come back with the results, and it's conclusive from both sides. It does what they claim that it can do. And then that's how he was awarded the patent. So this is what we're talking about. Something on this level. And I will just mention some, let's say some things people deal with that they've gotten some benefits from.
Yes.
So I don't know how many people that are listening that know someone or themselves are dealing with neuropathy. They were able to completely reverse the effects of neuropathy. They took 30 people who are on the amputation list, and they were able to completely reverse their situation. Nerves grew back in their feet. They have people who, I don't know if you know anyone or if you yourself deal with PTSD, which is neurological. And same thing, people are finding benefits who have that. With autism, they are finding benefits. People who have problems with heart disease. There is a person who's been on dialysis for 41 years and got to the point where they could not themselves urinate. They were dependent on dialysis to get that out of their system. And using this technology, now they are able to urinate on their own after 41 years of dialysis.
Wow.
This is how big, this is how.
You all hear that? This is your uncle, your brother, your father that's dealing with dialysis, or whoever you may know. Oh my gosh, I did not know.
And so now think about this. Again, your listeners, it's either them right now. Maybe they have congestive heart failure right now. Maybe they have that flabby muscle in their chest, that's what congestive heart failure is. Your heart loses its elasticity. Well, this technology is clinically proven by independent laboratories to reverse the age of the heart within the first 6 months of using this technology. So with that, I mean, I talked to a nurse. A nurse told me that everyone, and this is this nurse's assessment. I don't know how true this is, but this nurse said everyone has some level of a heart issue. So whether you have a little plaque in there or you have something going on, this was that person's assessment. But for your listeners, how many people do they know? It's not an assumption. It's not what they think. They know someone that's dealing with heart issues or themselves dealing with heart issues, and they could use something daily that there's no pharmaceutical, there's no medicine, there's no drugs, there's no stimulants, there's no chemical. Nothing is going into your body. Nothing, not a thing is going into your body from this technology. And there's no allergic factor as far as, again, something going into your body. And with that, Eve, I'll just say, let whoever those hand raisers are, I hope that they inbox you, call you.
And if you guys are placing the questions or comments here, we're going to go back and answer them. And you can DM me, inbox me. But Charles, it can just, I mean, people have talked about so much more that it does. I mean, I can't wait to see what more it will do for me. You women, I got to talk to you women. Can I share some more stuff? I know this is a 30-minute show, but we're going to extend this because this information has to be shared. It's important to share. It's a sin to not share this type of information, especially when it is non-invasive. Okay. And it's not a Me Too, meaning you will not find this anywhere else. You may find it on eBay or this, but you know what? There probably someone like me and like Charles is putting it there, but it's not the same. You will not get the same service. So anyway, you women, we go through some hormonal imbalances, changes, high night sweats, hot flashes, whatever, mood swings, whatever, right? Weight gain, come on now, inflammation. So I was put on a hormone therapy, and some of you probably are on it. And after taking it a year, I took it off. I stopped, cut cold turkey immediately, bam, because I was feeling some symptoms, not knowing that it could be coming from the product, from this drug. Okay. I don't want to make pharma fat. Okay. Especially if it's going to hurt me more than help me. Many people get whatever the doctor tells them to take and no questions asked.
No research.
No research. Now all of a sudden, well, this pill is going to either, I mean, you mentioned it on the radio the other day about how you sent this videos out there. I'm going to share it on social media. This video, this video talks about, and you guys all see these commercials on pharma on some type of medication or for allergies, and
with the side effects.
And then the small print, even though it's a quick, fast voice, that's the small print.
Mm-hmm.
And this may cause aneurysm. This may cause heart attack. This may cause death.
Death.
I'm like, what?
Brain bleeds.
It's going to cause death, but they have to disclose it. But they say it so fast, purposely, for you to miss it.
Mm-hmm.
Just like the small print, they put it so small so you can miss it. But then they'll say, well, we told you, it's there. That's right. How they cover their butt. Okay. And you all are so quick to hurry up and say, oh, I got to go and fill my script. There's been scripts that the doctor gives me and I don't fill it. They gave me prescription for cholesterol. I said, I'm not filling it. Tell me what I can do naturally. What foods do I need to stop eating?
So right there, you mentioned cholesterol. So my wife
does that for me.
So my wife, she has dealt with high cholesterol from 1994. So 1994, so Jalen was born, and then from that point forward, she's dealing with high cholesterol, and they put her on, I think she said it was Lipitor or something like that. Yeah. And now Lipitor is connected with onsetting dementia. Oh. So she was like, "Oh no," and they tell you that in the disclaimer. They real quick, blah 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 blah, and dementia, and they breeze right past that. But after several months of using this technology, her cholesterol. Now we're talking 1994. So from using this technology, her cholesterol went down 20 points. How many of your listeners right now or someone they know that's dealing? Now, going back to that thing about the doctors prescribing things, and this is just to show you, I hope that what happens from this show and other shows that you do, I hope that what happens is that people become critical and independent thinkers. That's right. See, that's what we're missing. People feel as though I elected you, so I elected you to think for me. No, think for yourself. So I was visiting someone in the hospital, right? And they were, the nurse came in and they were about to be given some prescription, some medication that they were taking while they were in the hospital. Actually, it was what do you call that? It's a rehab center, a stroke and rehab center. And so they were about to get this medication, and the person stopped them and said, "Hey, what is that?" Because they didn't even tell them what they were about to give them, right? Right. So after that, they gave the name and they said, it was this drug and that drug, just in case somebody from one of those pharmaceutical companies is watching your show. We don't want anyone filing or saying, "Oh, you're slandering," or you're bashing us, and why didn't you name those other pharmaceuticals? But in any case, the thing that I found interesting while this person is saying, well, this is what I'm giving you and this is what I'm giving you. And so I'm looking it up, and while I'm looking it up, massive lawsuits wrongful death lawsuits for these pharmaceuticals. And they said there are thousands of them for the one. The other one, they're talking about how it affects the vision for older men. It causes problems with cataracts or something like that. And but you know what? The individual, they didn't say, hey, wait a minute, let me go research this before you get. And worse than that, it was a doctor who should have known better, right? A doctor that prescribed it to this patient. So it's like, well, you know, again, being an independent thinker, saying, you know what, hey, let me look at, I know I pay the doctor and I should be able to trust that, okay, if you're giving this to me, that you have my best interest at heart. But you know what, just like when I was in automotive sales, automotive retail, I worked with a lot of people who had less success than me, but they were out to clobber the customer over the head, because for them, it was making money. For me, it was longevity. For me, it was about, can I get that person to come back and see me in 3, 4, 5 years? And so I wanted to give them an experience and a fair deal. But you know what? Just like it is in the automotive retail, it is in every other profession. You have people that are in it for the money. You have surgeons that are just, they're quick to say, hey, let's operate. And you didn't even need surgery. And so, you know, we have something, we're not going to, maybe this preventative, again, when we talked about with a car, what do people do with their cars? You said this to your co-host.
Oh gosh, we're so quick to want to make sure we change that oil every 3,000 miles or 10,000 miles on the money. I mean, and don't let this happen. We check everything about our vehicle, but what about this vehicle?
Yeah.
When this vehicle isn't working, can you drive your car? I'm just saying.
God's simple. Well, you know, those people probably say, well, the Bible says if this earthly vessel of this house, if it be dissolved, I have another one. Well, no, God is not saying wear out and be broke down and be sick here. No, we're supposed to live a kingdom life here. Yes. We're supposed to live at that status that we represent the kingdom of God. That means in our wellness, before Jesus could give the people word, he had to open up their deaf ears. He had to open up their blinded eyes. He had to heal their leprosy so that they could receive. They were hurting too bad. They were suffering. And so he came to heal their body so that they could receive what he was offering them concerning the kingdom of God. Now we are here sharing something that is changing people's lives. If you're breathing, you're warm-blooded, just like those other people, then it's going to do the same thing for you, because it's science. It's real science.
It sure is.
And it's just incredible.
It is. And let me finish telling you about the hormone treatment, right? So, and the cholesterol. So with the hormone treatment, I had gained weight. I had inflammation, and you women know where that weight is gained, around our belly. So I was like happy it gave me this hormone treatment. I lost 9 pounds just like that. And I said, see, I'm not having this extra weight around my waist because I eat a lot. No, this isn't healthy weight. That's what I used to say. So I took this treatment for about a year. And then all of a sudden, my breast started hurting. Women, you know, you all go through this mammogram test and all this. So I'm like, what the world is happening with my body? And I had to hurry up and, you know what, get me in as soon as possible.
Serious.
What I'm feeling. Why are they hurting the way they're hurting? And okay, so I went, thank God, it was all positive, nothing wrong. Yeah. And then I said, well, I just started doing research on this Prempro, this hormone therapy. Sorry, I mentioned the name, but we got it.
But no, you used it. It was your experience, so you're allowed to talk about your experience.
Well, you know what? I'm allowed to mention it anyway. It's a free world. It's my show, and I can cry if I want to. And if they want to sue me, that's on them. Shame on them for trying to do that to people. You know what? There's code of ethics what doctors shouldn't do Some doctors do. Anyway,
Mm-hmm.
so the Holy Spirit just said, stop taking them. I just felt the move to just cut cold turkey. Stop taking them. When I stopped taking them, I kid you not, God is my witness. The next day, stop hurting. The pain went
Hmm.
away. And I
So
was like,
you
okay.
addressed one issue and started experiencing another issue because you were using something, and it was a pharmaceutical that had an effect good on one side, but that same pharmaceutical was creating a negative on the other side.
Yep, yep. And so I had to let the doctors know, well, can you just, give me something else that's not going to affect me? Because what I'm finding out is some of these medications that are given for hormone therapy actually can cause breast cancer. So I was like, oh
Oh
no, not
wow.
me, not on my watchboard. Right?
So when there's something, when there's a natural alternative, and let me say that we have many holistic doctors, as well as just the doctors who do offer pharmaceuticals, plastic surgeons, chiropractors, pain
Therapist.
management. It
Amen. Yes.
is they're jumping on board because these are the ones that care about their patients. They're
Yep.
not just in it for the money. They care about their patients and they're looking for an alternative means. I
Yep.
just did a meeting with a urologist, my urologist, on yesterday for this. So I walked in, bought them all lunch, and so came in and did my presentation. The doctor came and he sat in between, seeing he had a patient waiting in the other room, and put them on hold, came in, let me show him what I needed to show him. I did the rest of the presentation with his office staff, and they are excited. They are excited. And so at the end of the day, something that, again, it's all natural. And
It
even,
is. I
again,
love it.
doctors,
Thank you, Jesus. I have been
doctors,
praying, Charles. I've been praying, Lord, give me something that's natural, that is going to decrease my inflammation, that's going to balance things out. Look, guys, if you only, I got to tell you how I'm feeling right now, that I'm like, my hands are doing this down here because I'm that excited, because I have
well,
that much energy.
You know, I start feeling like Morpheus, that I'm unplugging people from the Matrix.
Right?
You take the blue pill, you can forget all about it. But if you take the red pill, but that's exactly what this is like. I had a guy tell me the exact same thing you just said. So it's a salesperson over at a local Chevy dealership. I walked in to see somebody else, a different salesperson, and this guy kind of like stopped me and started engaging me and having conversation. And several days later, he signs up. He's on board. And he said the same thing. He said, you know what? This absolutely is an answer to a prayer that I've been praying. And he told me about the whole his story. And that's what this is. This is answered prayer for so
For
many people.
so many, and I have watched so many testimonials, and I don't know, I just got to share what it is. I don't know, I just got to share what it is, Charles. But I know that there's so many testimonials that I have seen from other people sharing their life experience from this little thing.
Yes. And there's nothing coming out of that
No, nada,
that
nothing.
goes into, and so since you put that there, I can show you. Can you see that?
Oh,
I
you put it
have.
on your arm? Yeah,
So
mine is.
and
Mine is
those are
like this.
those are different ones.
Oh, you
So
got different ones. Okay.
yeah, I have that one of them is the one that you just showed. And then I have some other ones because the company, we have an array. We have a line of that technology, which is just it's dealing with. So can I say, can I, because
Yeah.
I don't know
I
how
said
much
you're.
you want me to let your audience
Well,
in
what?
on
I
this.
want them to get with me. I think that I'm hoping and praying that if they care about themselves enough to inquire, to reach out to me. What is it, Eve? Can you show us? Can you just come see us or something? I mean, enough to do that, because we give everything away, then people are like, oh, okay. You know, here people say no so quick to something they have no idea what they're saying no to. I don't want that to happen here on this show. For those of you that know me, whether it's professionally, spiritually, or personally, I'm the same Eve that continuously share good information, great
Yeah.
information that's going to help you. If you've known me long enough on all the social media platforms, 15 years plus, I have always said I love helping people. I love improving the quality of life and the quality of education. And I'm not just giving you lip service. I'm not talking about it. I'm doing it about it. I am walking it. I'm not just talking it. I am there in the forefront, in the back, on the side, on the left or the right, because it's going to do something. We are supposed to be helping each other, lifting each other up. And I'm going to lift you up even if you don't lift me up. I'm going to share this information even if you don't want to hear it. That's fine. You want to have deaf ears, but sooner or later you may come back and say, you know what, Eve? I found out somebody else told me what it did. Oh, I heard that it helped them. They just had a
And that's
stroke.
it.
And now they're able to move where
It's the
before they
momentum.
weren't able to. You know what, Eve? My mind is so clear that now my memory is so sharp. I should have listened to you, or because I listened to you, I'm feeling the benefit.
And so let me ask you.
Oh my
So
gosh.
with the it's like you're preaching. But so
I am a minister, you know.
so with the just the most simple aspect of, as far as what people at the very least. So say you get a person perfectly, as far as what we would say, in good health. They're not dealing with any
in good health.
Well, but I'm saying they're not dealing with anything that they know of. Nothing.
Right. No pain, no anything. Okay.
But at the bare minimum, every single person talks about mental clarity. Do you know that mental clarity translates into higher productivity? When I sat in front of customer after customer, do you know in 2023 I sold 278 and a half cars.
Wow.
In 2022, I sold 311 and a half cars. There is no way you talk to you. And I didn't just talk to 278 and a half people last year, because you got to talk to probably 800 people to sell 278 and a half cars. So I talked to a lot of people. That was a lot of hours spent talking to people. People say, hey, I'll be back. I have to talk to my wife, whatever they have. I have to do some research, whatever. And they never come back. So those people aren't even a part of that 278. But as far as mental clarity, to sit in front of people and person after person after person, you are only on your A game out here as much as you are on your A game here. So you might have some people right now that are in your listening audience that are stockbrokers, that are insurance people, that are financial advisors, that are accountants, people who are lawyers, who have to strategize, get in a courtroom, and they need to be focused, who are athletes. And here's something as far as with athletes. So do you remember when Michael Phelps, the Olympic swimmer, right? So Michael Phelps, the Olympic swimmer, he went off, right? He just blew it up. And so after that, they were like, hey, wait a minute. No. You know what? We know he's got something going on. We think he's using. Do you remember that when they investigated him? Because they wanted to take his medal away from him.
Or something.
They wanted to take his medal away. So turns out they found out what Michael Phelps was using. There was no conflict with the anti-doping agency, both world and US. And so after that, You had a bunch of professional athletes doing the same thing that Michael Phelps was doing. You had high school and college athletes doing the same thing that Michael Phelps was doing. And you know what they found out it was that Michael Phelps was using? Hold that up to the it was from this company. It was from this company. And the reason why they couldn't take his metal was because nothing went into his body. It was all natural. So if there's somebody out there that's thinking it's like I said, as far as they're concerned, they're like a machine. Well, this will still help you take your game to the next level, And so it's just I guess ubiquitous as far as how it helps, who it can help, what it can enhance.
Let me read. After many months of problems with my knee, for all you have joint problems, inflammation, they hurt, arthritis, and all that, I'm going to be another testimony. The devil is a liar. I was given a bone density 2 years ago, and it said that I am at high risk for fractures. And as soon as I read that, I said, the devil is a liar. They gave me calcium. They said, you take this vitamin C. It causes constipation. That's another issue I do not want to have, which, by the way, it's detoxing me. So I'm good there. This guy says, after many months of problems with my knee, it was this. I'm going to call it. Can I call it? Can I call it? Can I name it?
You know what? Let them ask you off air.
What is it?
But so this is a testimonial, though. We have to make sure they understand that this is a testimonial that you're.
I'm reading. It's not. We are not saying it heals or recovers. I mean, heals or it. What's the other word? Cures. But this is how these people are telling you how it's helped them. It says after using this, that restored my ability to run again after just 1 week of its use. What a blessing.
Yeah, and it's there are football stars from high school that now,
to my athletes, to my coaches, come on, get with the program, reach out to me. I mean, I'm here wanting to bounce off my seat. I have an energy already in me, and so this is like boosting me a little more. No, it's not hyperactivity. It's not no ADHD. By the way, I was told that it helps kids with ADHD or people.
It does. It does. So it has a calming effect that allows them to focus. Same thing for children with autism. Same thing for people with CPTSD and PTSD. I have someone who signed up, who got on board with us to help build this. Their son, he looks like he's like maybe between 8 and 10 years old, maybe. And the report that they gave after it was probably about 2 weeks of using this technology was that the son began to become more verbal. What do you think?
I saw a testimonial like that.
Yeah. What do you think that made that mom feel? And after all, up to, and like I said, he looks like he's about 8 years old, maybe 10, between there. But after all that time, and now after just simply using something as simple as that, becoming more verbal, that's you can't put a price tag on that.
Yeah. And some of you may be saying, oh, come on, Eve, why can't you just give us the information? Because I know how people work, in here, out the other, and then you forget, and then something happens, and then you figure, why did I not listen? I don't want to be more of you to be reactive. Be proactive.
Yeah, we don't want.
How long do I do this? Well, guess what? For those of you that have thyroids, guess what? Thyroid problems, Dr. Hudson, you got to take this for the rest of your life. And
they don't question it.
And you're okay with that. Oh my gosh. For what it costs, you know what? You spend that on a cup of coffee. No, you pay more for a cup of coffee than what you would do for this on a daily basis. You put this on every day. You take it off at night. Bam, bada bee, bada boom. And you know what? Our whole body is made up of stem cells. I mean, hello. And they go dormant. Hello. They go dormant. Brain cells. Some of you go and get injected to your face, to your body, because one, you want to look better. This is going to help your skin too. Two, if you have kids or families with sickle cell, you go out there and medically go get them, and it costs you 5,000 minimum, right? I mean, tell me if I'm
Up to
right.
30,000.
I have a friend that actually spent over $100,000. She said on stem cells. Wow, we have our own. Let's
How
just
many
think.
people even have that much money to do that?
I don't.
You have to be fortunate to even be able to do that. With this, it doesn't matter where you are in the economic tree. It does not matter who you are. This, as long as you're breathing and you're warm-blooded listening to this.
Yes. Yes. So I think we've said enough. We're at the hour mark, but to my friends, to my associates, my business people, partners, to my doctors, from the chiropractors to the physical therapists, you know who you are. Get with me, please. To the plastic surgeons, you know, I was shown that by other doctors that this helps heal the scars. They heal faster after surgery. Plastic surgeons are now giving these to their patients. I mean, we can go on and on and on and on. And I'm just excited, and I couldn't hide it. And I can't hide this excitement. And I have all this energy in me. So guess what I'm going to go do after? I'm going to go to the gym because it's too much.
Chase the birds. Chase the birds.
Chase the birds, guys. You've been following me on social media. You know I've been talking about these birds. Guess who I heard out my window? I was like, oh no, not again. Yeah, again. So stay tuned for more on that story of the birds. Charles, thank you so much for joining me here on Real Talk. We're going to be some real talk. I mean, I'm not sugarcoating anything. I'm telling you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. I'm not here to appease you or lie to you just so you can feel good about yourself, because then I am not being who I'm supposed to be, a child of God, a woman of the Most High God. And I am going to tell you boldly, yes, I'm a believer. A lot of people that are on these things are all believers. They're this product or this technology is going into the churches. So to my pastors, you owe this to your congregation.
Absolutely.
It's holistic. It's non-invasive. I don't want no drugs in me if I can't help it, Lord.
Yeah.
I don't like it. I got sick from watching how many pills my parents used to take. Neuropathy, vestibulopathy, radiculopathy, COPD, congested heart failure. Should I keep on? Parkinson's, Lewy body dementia. Oh, and I have heard many testimonials, and I'm waiting to know one personally that they have suffered from cancer. You're on chemo, you can't use it, but they have suffered from cancer and it came back, and they said no to chemo, and they were taking this patch. And guess what? When they had to run their numbers, they're like, what did you do? Your numbers are good. Jesus, that's what happened.
Yep.
Just like that. All right. Well, thank you so much. Stay tuned for more, guys, here on Real Talk with E.V.E. Have a pleasant evening. You know, I love you. If I didn't, I would keep everything to myself. And that would be selfish. And that I am not. I'm going to always live a selfless life, because I'm going to share what I know with you. Brother Charles, thank you once again.
Well,
don't go anywhere, Pastor Charles. I'll get back with you, okay?
Yes.
Oh, wow. Thank you.
Thank you.
Woo-wee. I just have to share this with you. I mean, this is my personal experiences, and I'm not going to sit here and lie to you to convince you to do something that I'm not doing. How dare I? That's a hypocrite, and I'm not going to be that. So thank you for joining and watching here on Real Talk with E.V.E. With that, I got places to go. Well, maybe from here to the sofa because it's late. But thank you. Appreciate you. Share this information, please. Inbox me, DM me. For those of you know how to get a hold of me, if you have my email address, please, or comment. Questions. I see your questions. I'm going to answer them. Thank you for placing your comments. I appreciate for watching this show on all the social media platforms. I appreciate you following me, and this just, you know, it touches my heart to see you doing that. And then when I see you out in public, you acknowledge me. I appreciate that, and love and kisses to you all. It's just been a great evening. Peace to you. God bless. Nos vemos.